Alright, welcome back, guys. We're gonna be reading some more or less fanfiction. It's actually not that bad once you get used to. Plus, I got my phone. You get used to it when you see weird shit. Chapter 9: The memories are still there. Okay, so that sounds bad. Goblin woke the next morning feeling slightly groggy, and for a while he lay unaware of the past actions of last night. It was only then, when he gazed around the room, didn't realize he was still lying in his master's bed with the royal chambers. Did the shock of remembrance hit him? Zalman sat straight up, looking around nervously. Frieza was nowhere to be seen, but there was a fresh batch of clothes and a suit of armor set to the side. Attached to the armor was a sticky note which Zalman took and read. Dear Zalman, wait until 9:30 a.m. to leave my room. I will be waiting for you by the deeper lake. Frieza. Zalman placed the note down and took up a fancy diamond watch sitting on Frieza's bed. On Frieza's bed desk? I don't know that. It was 8:45. Zalman got up, got a quick shower in Frieza's bathroom, got dressed, and fixed his long, straight, interlocked set ponytail. He sat back down on the lunch bed and waited for the time to pass. As he did, he rested his head in his palm as his thought began to swim in memories of last night. I can't believe myself. How could I have been possessed like? I mean, I was in the virgin to begin with. I found no problems interloping with girls at my age. How could I do this to my own master? Well, now that accident those fears is any older than I am, the ice gens don't age any slower or quicker than my species does. So why did Frieza want me to do this? This role of me? Or am I his toy? Hold on. There we go. The troubled young man looked over at his watch. It was now close to 8:30. He got up, carefully opened the thick doors to a crack. He peeled outside to make sure no one walked down the halls. It was seen coming out of his master's bedroom chambers. When Zarbon sensed no one was around, he exited quickly, closing the doors as he did. As he made it down the halls into an empty elevator, Zarbon smiled to himself. Lord Frieza knew no one would be around at this time. How could I doubt his judgment? And I'm getting messages. The elevator door opened, and Zarbon made to the donkey bay. Exiting down the familiar wide ramp to the flying saucer, and was met by warm sunlight and about a foot of water. He was lucky enough to be given a pair of good boots so he wouldn't get wet. Against the trudging waters, gonna mute. There we go. Into flying. Where was it? In trudging waters, he walked on for a little while in the open, flat wetlands until he caught sight of some Frieza's training in the air. When Zalman reached a dry hill, he looked on into the landscape and further away. He spotted the black dot that was Frieza's hovering throne near a wide depression in the ground. That was a lake, where some native birds took baths. Deciding not to waste any more time trudging through the water, someone took to the air and landed quietly near Frieza. He approached Frieza's left side very submissively. He waited to Frieza spoke, his red eyes looking elsewhere. Zalman, come over to my other side. Zalman did, when Frieza still continued to gaze out into the vast, flat wetlands before him. Zalman relaxed a little and gazed out with them, listening to the colorful birds chirping and singing. He was startled only when Frieza spoke this When Lord Frieza spoke softly to him. You gave me a wonderful night, Zalman, a night I will never forget. I'm glad I could do good to you, my lord. Zalman answered quietly, not making eye contact, and also, I'm hoping you and I could keep this our little secret. God damn it. Zalman turned his piercing eyes to meet with Zalman's own surprise gold ones. Of course, my lord. Zalman via some words. No other soul would know of this. I give my word. Satisfied, Frieza calmly turned his eyes back to the birds. The rays of the planet's three suns illuminated Frieza's glossy black horns and violet cranium and armor pads. Zalman thought his mouth looked beautiful, and he was filled with a strange sense of calm and order when Frieza's black lips separated and spoke in solemn but firm words. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna pause this because I have to check something. There we go. It's nobody's business but ours, but Zalman turned his head back to the window. Birds flying off into the lovely sunrise, he felt a cold hand reaching behind and stroke his neck. The hairs on Lambert's egg shot up, but he kept his composure even as Frieza literally began to finger and twist as the runs long ponytail. He did this for quite a while until there was a whoosh sound of Dodora Usa was seen coming down the hill and into the valley. Lord Frieza, he called. Frieza was so startled by this, he gave a faint little squeak that only Zaman could immediately stole his hand away as if had been burned. He turned to the light with a quick look of anger, but Zaman could tell Frieza was almost also blushing. Dodora, what do you want? Frieza hissed. My lord, I'm sorry to trouble you, but another flying saucer just alive. I think it's your brother, the big pink man said, Fluffy, huffing. Frieza sat back in his throne with his hand against the headrest as he closed his eye and sighed miserably. Oh, great. Frieza thought to himself, what does he want? Within a half hour, Frieza and his two henchmen made it to the location on the planet where Cooler's craft had landed. All of Cooler's men were lined up in troops outside the craft as Frieza approached. The water in this area had receded completely, so the three rivals had no problem walking the rest of the way. Frieza ordered Zabra and Dodora to wait in their places as he came closer to the entrance of his brother's ship. As Frieza jumped out of his hovering throne and waited for his brother to come out, he wouldn't think irritatingly to himself, now why the hell is my brother here? Hasn't he annoyed me enough this past week? Out came Frieza's brother down the ramp of his ship and out into the open. Frieza approached his younger brother with a grin on his dark-colored face. But you weren't expecting me to see me here, were you? No, not this soon, no. Frieza tried to say seriously, but a smirk kept on his face as he embraced by his face. The long tails entwined for a second, then uncoiled as Frieza took a step back and looked down as he spoke. Well, the official news is that Father said he'd be here in a week or so right now he's stuck out in the second sector, dealing with a small uprising and such. Good. Frieza replied sarcastically. There has some time left to live. What? Okay, read me out now. Cooler laughed out loud and gave his little brother a playful punch. Now, why you like that, little brother? You haven't gone and done anything stupid at all, have you, huh? It was at the moment Frieza found himself painfully recounting the unspeakable events of last night. The soft-creaking sound of the master's bed as there was a sharp movement upon it. The young man gripping at his master's thighs as he pushed harder into his little second opening. Soft moans from Frieza as he endured long hours of heavy with his favorite servant, his little lizard body filling with the sweet essence of the green-haired man. Frieza, are you feeling alright? Cooler sounding slightly worried as he stood down. Some to look at his brother in the face. You're looking a little pale. Frieza shook his head and crossed his arm over his chest as he regained his usual slapdash composure. I'm perfectly fine. Now, would you care for some wine at my place? Would I ever? Cooler said happily as he followed his younger brother and his two henchmen across the valley to Frieza's ship. On the way, Cooler pressed Frieza on how things had been before his arrival, to which Frieza replied, let's just say no one is bored around here, brother. Yeah. I guess we have enough time to read another one. So, brother, Cooler continued as he took a sip from his glass, how has the old business been treating you? Quite well, actually. Frieza replied, crossing his legs comfortably and rested against his elbow as he looked off to the side. Real estate has been high this past year and more plans are falling into bankruptcy and corruption, I noticed. Really now? Cooler raised an eyebrow. I bet that was something to do with the recent deviation from royal protocol. Frieza looked back at Cooler, slightly confused. It means too many ruling families of these planets are not holding up their cords of tradition. Just how to keep the bloodline pure, the passing down of power, and who gets the throne. You know, that kind of stuff. Cooler rested his chin in his hand. Kami knows you can't possibly rule a planet efficiently without a royal tradition. Frieza allowed his eyes to come to a restful gaze out the round window of the dim room they sat in. The smaller alien sighed. I suppose Father told you all that, didn't he? Yep. The older alien replied dully. He also didn't improve on my choice in a spouse. Yes, I was just beginning to wonder why you came alone, Frieza said, looking up at him. and I'm sorry to hear about her assumed demise. Yeah, don't worry about it, Kudo said, waved his hand. She was getting naggy anyway, so what about you, brother? What about me? Frieza asked slightly defensively. Well, have you found yourself a suitable soul to be with? Ah, Frieza's older brother looked down at him with great curiosity. Frieza sneered and looked away again as he mumbled, no, have you even tried to find a suitable soul? Cooler, I do not want to talk about this, Frieza replied angrily. Listen, the fancy gold watch from Cooler's arm began to beep. It's getting late. Cooler stood from his seat and took a leave, but not before leaving his younger brother with a word of thought. You don't have to talk to me about it, Frieza, but you have to talk about it with. No, I'm not saying that. Whatever. The hours passed by restfully as Frieza and given his army the rest of the day off while he was having wine with his brother. Zarbon had just made it back to his living quarters with Dodoria after spending some time at the ship's diner. As the two warriors made it to the slightly messy room, Dodoria was hounding Zara on the neck on what he was doing last night. I told you already, Dio. I'm not entitled to tell you anything. Oh, come on, Doria. Let his large, beefy arms fall to his side as he whined. What could you possibly be doing at Lord Frieza's place that is such a big fat secret? Well, it's certainly nothing that would concern you, Dodo Bird. Oh my god. No, that's pretty funny. Zarbon scoffed as he was quick to take off his clothes except for his deep blue undergarments. Oh really? Dodoria teased as he brought his own flabby pink face close to Zarbon's delicate one. You know, if Lord Frieza gave you some kind of special treatment for something you did, I won't be jealous, you know. At the sound of the word special treatment, Zarbon immediately pulled his face away in anger, but his cheeks were burning red. That is it, Dodoria. Drop the subject or else. Dodoria stood up straight again and rolled his eyes. Fine, Mr. Sensitive. But don't come nag at me for answers the next time I get ruled for something you don't know about. And the white set being grabbed is about time and just the white set being grabbed and disappeared into the bathroom. For a shower, Zarbon stood still for a moment, gripping his dresser drawer and staring blankly into the wall. He was lost in a picture of inner thoughts. Okay, calm down, Zarbon. The oversized pests go. What? Wait, did I reveal anything to him? No, I hardly said a word. Good then. Nothing to worry myself over, but still, what exactly did Doria mean by special treatment? Eventually, Zarbon managed to pull himself together and get dressed in some workout shorts and a shirt. Pulling his long green hair into a single braid, he grabbed his bag and made it out the doors towards the ship's large workout room. It was getting late in the evening, so there was very little other souls out their rooms tonight. Zarbon was allowed this late only because he was a favorite to Frieza, so curfews didn't imply much to him. But just as Zarbon made it all the way around the one hall, the winding, hallways. Down the elevators to the gym's glass door, a peeping sound could be heard from inside his gym bag. He quickly opened it and pulled out his trusty scouter. He placed it on his ear and spoke to her. Hello, Zarbon. Someone speaking. Zarbon, it's me. Come to my chambers immediately. Spoke this cold, feminine-sounding voice on the other end. The connection was clicked off. By the way the call sounded, it sounded serious. Zarbon became afraid that enemies had broken into the ship, or something similar to that. Within a second, Zarbon was off like a cheetah, sprinting right back down the halls, through the elevator shaft, in just the way he came. When he finally made it to the other end of the ship, and to Frieza's fancy doors, he knocked on them rapidly until they opened to just a crack, so that Zarbon had to sidestep in between them to get in just before they immediately closed. He looked around and saw nothing out of the ordinary anyways. Frieza's room was still just as royal and luxurious as usual, with the exception of a soft, thick mat, as well as some warm blankets lying out in the middle of his room. And sitting in the middle of the mat with blankets laying around him was Frieza wearing a silk violet kimono. That's a kimono. It's a kimono. It's not. There we go. What the shit? There we go. No. I want to. Whatever. Zarban stared dumbly at the scene before him. Stared dumbly. His master sat with his legs tucked under himself and the rim of the kimono with his long, thick tail curled around his little form as he grew. Like a nest, a wide, silvery sash was wrapped tight around Frieza's lean waist, right up to the bottom of his chest area. The long, open sleeves of the silk robe hung off softly, slightly from his arms, which played around with a vase of lovely red roses. Frieza seemed very interested in arranging his flowers. Oh, but Zarban noticed his master's face was very relaxed and thoughtful. A faint smile was upon his glossy black lip. Zarban could feel himself falling back in love with his powerful master, with bright sunset light pouring in from the room's single large window, in the background of Frieza sitting with his vase of roses. Zarban almost thought he looked heavenly. He dropped his bag and cautiously took a few steps nearer to his master. He spoke quietly. Lord Frieza spoke quietly to him. Lord Frieza, you called me. Is it something wrong? Frieza spoke but kept his eyes to his pants. No, Zarban, nothing was wrong. I just wanted to see you again. Zarban stood still, confused. Eventually he spoke with raised eyes. Oh, I see. Alright, no problem, sire. Whatever your wish is yours. Fine. I can't speak today. God dang it. Frieza finally placed his hands in his lap and looked up at Zarban and smiled tenderly. God damn it. The small alien's eyes sparkled in the sunset rays like two precious red jewels. His dangerously sharp horns shone in the light like two sticks made of a molded black diamond. The purple shell covered his cranium like it was made of clear glass, and someone could see himself in it staring dumbly back. Zarban just was to speak, even when he didn't know what to say. When Frieza rose to his three-toed feet, Frieza confidently wrapped one arm around the servant's waist and another around Zarban's neck, bringing the young green man's head down. So it was fortunate for Frieza that he had long toes, for he stood upon them in order to lock lips with Zarban. No one. You don't need to see that. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You ain't gonna see this in the next video.